Election Day is less than a week away, and Arizona is filled with tight races, with lots of money being spent to try to influence voters. For example, there's more than $40 million going into the governor's race. Reporter Alexia Stanbridge spoke with some political experts about how money is influencing the campaigns.
The candidate who has the most money usually has the upper hand, according to experts I spoke to. But this election may be different than most. Katie Hobbs raised more than $12 million, and Kari Lake raised a little more than $10 million.
Kari Lake has lacked in fundraising for the past year and a half. She's been able to make up with media exposure.
Elevate Strategies owner Lorna Romero Ferguson says on top of Kari Lake's media time, Republicans tried to highlight what they call failed policies and issues with the current Democratic president to grab headlines.
Katie Hobbs has to raise more money in order to kind of bridge that gap.
Chuck Coughlin, the CEO and president of High Ground Incorporated, agrees that this cash deficit will not impact Lake's campaign because both candidates raised large sums of money.
I mean, they're both very competitive numbers.
According to the October 29th report filings, Hobbs has about $600,000 that has not been spent, and Lake still has about $1.6 million. Coughlin says it can be difficult to spend money like that this late in the election.
I'm sure they'll figure out a way to spend it, but I'd prefer having my money spent at this point in time.
Robert Grossfeld, Democratic strategist, agrees that this can be tough, saying candidates are probably maxing out on how much television ad space they can buy, but says Lake's money can still be put to use.
If there's any cracks that show up in her campaign, they have more than enough money to patch it and move forward.
Romero Ferguson says Hobbs may have spent her money sooner because her audience is more likely to vote early, where Lake's audience will most likely be at the polls on Election Day.
And now it's making sure that their bases show up to vote.
All the experts I spoke to say this race is currently a toss-up. Coughlin from High Ground says they are looking at the unaffiliated voters that make up about 24% of the electorate. He says candidates can't win this election without them. In the newsroom, Alexia Stanbridge, Cronkite News.